The weather is all British today and the car we have with us is Japanese, and this car operates in a segment that is usually ruled by the Germans. But Lexus believes that this is the car you should buy if you want a luxury sedan. So is it really good enough to take on the likes of the Mercedes-Benz S-Class? And if it does, what are the tricks it has up its sleeves? Let's find out. As far as design is concerned, the Lexus LS 500h truly stands out, and it is everything that the other German sedans aren't. It is sharp, it is aggressive, it is a visual treat. Now at the front you can see this massive grille, and this is a work of art. It's been built using 5,000 pieces. Looks good, sharp, and again you look at these Z-shaped headlamps. The overall effect of the design is as if someone really pinched it using a pair of chopsticks. Looks good. The length of the car adds to the road stance. It's a 5.2 meter long car and it's got a hunkered down stance. So yes, it looks dynamic when you look at it from the side, and of course you have these striking 20-inch chrome alloy wheels which add to the bling factor. Add to it a good looking rear end, and what you get is a luxury sedan that just looks so interesting. It is not as boring as many of its German rivals. The cabin of the LS 500h is definitely a great place to be in, and it truly is so different from the other rivals that you see in this segment. And the biggest attraction about this cabin is the fact that you've got so much inspiration that the designers have again drawn in from Japanese traditions inside this. Now if you look at the overall dashboard design, again you can see this flow effect, and this gives a very nice feel to the overall cabin. It just feels as if the car wraps around you in a single flow. Then of course there's this infotainment screen here. Now this is not a touch screen and is usually operated by a haptic feedback touch pad. Now while it looks a fancy thing, it can be quite irritating at times because it is not really one of the best interfaces to use, and I truly believe that in this particular department it is the Germans that really come out on top, because using this touchpad can be a bit annoying at times. But beyond that, of course, the screen itself is quite nice. The resolution is decent and the visibility is also nice. The instrument cluster again is a digital unit, and a really nice one at that. Gives you clear and crisp display, and you can easily decipher whatever information you're looking from this particular instrument cluster. And now coming back to the Japanese traditions that I was talking of, if you look at these door pads, now the patterns you see here, these are hand pleated and they are based on the Japanese origami style. And if you look at this glass, now this is the Japanese tradition which is called kiriko, and it is about cutting glass using hand. So it's hand cut glass patterns that have been crafted into this cabin. It just gives the car a lot of rich vibe and looks good. And this is something that, while it's not related to this car, but I would like to say that Indian car makers for some reason just can't find a reason to get any inspiration from our own country or our culture, and for some reason they always look out to the West, be it for their car model names or their designs, whereas this is what you should be doing. Lexus staying true to their Japanese tradition. Now if you are going to buy something like the LS 500h, well, this is the seat where you're going to spend most of your time, and for that matter this is a really good place to be in. Now considering this is pretty much in the segment of a luxury limo, you get a lot of space, so that's not a problem at all. Of course the seats are very comfortable and they've got really nice cushioning, and you can of course move them back and forth, so you can adjust the recline angle. You can do a lot of stuff using this particular touch interface that you have here in the center armrest. And of course there's also the massage function, which by the way has been made in conjunction with the Japanese shiatsu style of massaging. So you get a full body massage. You can of course choose for different types of massage options, and you can also adjust the intensity. But moving back to the cabin, you of course have these two screens here, which can again be operated using this touch interface. And of course, as far as the cabin quality is concerned, you have the same origami and the Kiriko style interiors here, which add to the brilliance and the opulence of the cabin. And of course, as far as the party piece is concerned, that is wherein you can completely put the front seat down, so the front seat will recline, and you've also got an ottoman like support here for your feet, and this is how good it looks. And this is how good it gets, and I'm sure if you're getting something so comfortable, there is no reason to complain at the end of a tiring day. Now, while most of the people will spend their time in the backseat of this car, if you are going to take up the wheel, well, the experience is going to be pretty nice. And for that, what you have is an overall driving package that you can have fun with despite the size of this car. Now, powering this car is a 3.5 liter V6, a petrol engine, and it is a hybrid, so it is again mated to a pair of electric motors which power the rear wheel, and the combined power output you get is about 360 horsepower. Now, the transmission, again, like the engine setup, is quite interesting because what you have is on paper a 10-speed automatic transmission, but it's not a simple 10-speed automatic transmission. There's a 4-speed automatic gearbox paired to a CVT, and that's the reason why you get a combined ratio of 10. Now, as far as the logic of using this combination is concerned, well, Lexus says the idea was to cut down on the rubber band effect that CVTs are usually associated with. Have they been successful? Pretty much. Because when you accelerate hard or you're trying to row through the gears fast, the rubber band effect of the CVT is not there. Of course, it's not as fast as, say, a dual clutch transmission or maybe even some of the better torque converter gearboxes, but it is not like a CVT, and that's a good thing. And add to it the fact that the car itself, the engine power is enough to propel itself in a quick manner, so you can launch off the line quick. There's enough power always on the tap, and add to it the fact that the gearbox works in a quick manner, you get a car that you can have fun driving. As far as ride and handling is concerned, well, ride quality is absolutely great in the LS500H. Well, it might not be at the same level where the S-Class is, because the S-Class feels as if it's floating on a layer of cream, but the LS500H, for that matter, offers a very good ride quality. As far as NVH insulation is concerned, there are certain sounds that creep inside the cabin, so that is an area where probably again it is not as good as some of its German rivals, but again the overall comfort experience when you talk about ride quality is quite nice. It's got a cushioned ride quality, and as far as handling is concerned, well, that is an area where I feel the LS500H really comes out on top, because the car just behaves in a manner it just simply shouldn't. It just doesn't behave like a 5.2 meter long car. It feels nimble, it's a very agile car, and that's the good thing that hits you when you start driving this car, especially when you start pushing it around. And that's the reason why, if you are looking for a car where you can be chauffeur driven, but at times you would want to take up the wheel and you want to have an experience that you would enjoy, the LS500H in that respect is better than some of its rival. Now, one thing that can leave you surprised in the LS500H is its exhaust note. Despite being a luxury limousine, the LS500H has got an entertaining exhaust note, and at times you might just feel as if you're driving a sports car. And like I told you, it is agile, so you can have driving fun. And as far as the sound is concerned, this is the soundtrack you can enjoy. Absolutely brilliant. And staying on the subject of sound, well, the sound system. The brilliant Mark & Levinson audio system that you get in the LS500H is a treat for everyone who's an audiophile. The sound quality is absolutely fantastic, and at times if you listen to a soundtrack on this particular sound system, you can hear bits of the music that are otherwise just not there when you hear it somewhere else. So yes, as a complete overall experience, the LS500H does have a lot of tricks up its sleeve. So with all the details discussed about the Lexus LS500H, it is now time to answer the big question. Should you buy this car over its German rivals? And the simple answer to that is, why not? Well, the Lexus LS500H for its price offers a really good package. There are areas where the LS500H might not be right up there where the S-Class is as far as the absolute ride comfort is concerned, but the LS500H is an engaging car to drive, and if you are looking for a car that you can be driven in and occasionally would want to drive, then the LS500H is an option that definitely demands your attention.